Are you one of those junglers who would love to be able to win games faster and avoid the coin flipping teamfighting of your elo? This massive jungling tip will ensure you stay ahead of the enemy junglers in experience and gold so that you can achieve just that. Junglers who always find themselves throwing games or having long game times have found that the tips I'm going to show you in this video immediately help them have advantages over almost every other jungler. So what allowed them to adjust that crucial early game jungling momentum? In this video, I'm going to show you crucial early game jungling tips so that you can enable your counter jungling to the next level, you can gain and maintain huge experience leads over the enemy jungler, and how to speed up your game time so that you don't have to wait until 35 minutes to see if you're gonna win or lose. Before we do that though, can you answer this simple question? What is the most critical principle for early game jungling? And I hope most of you were thinking deeply about that and came to the answer: jungle tracking. I'm going to show you how this will 100% affect the tips in this video and how it affects low to mid elo junglers, and yes, even diamond junglers as well, and show you how to fix this permanently with challenger tips. I have put my live jungle companion guide on Zara.gg and tailored it to over 30 junglers. That's almost every single jungler. This includes my patented ganking tier list, my game plan maker, what jungle routes you should go for your champion. It tells you what I would do in any given scenario in the early, mid, and late game. All through a dynamic pop-out on your screen where you can control whatever you want to see or don't see, including all of Zara's in-game information, which you can of course tailor to your preferences and move wherever you like on the screen. How nice. Along with the specific best routes, best items, and best runes for your champion, the Jungle Live Companion Guides on Zara.gg by Virkayu is your best way to improve and get better. With more than 8,000 players and 46,000 games played on my Zara.gg guides, I trust them to get you where you want to be. And also stay ahead of the curve by the time Season 13 arrives, as I will update them frequently, so get your goals by the end of Season 12 and exceed them in Season 13 with a link in the description below. So we will join our Fiddlesticks prodigy in the middle of his first clear. We know the enemy Zac has got unleashed here and is going to the top side. And we're going to see what happens in this early game, you know, like this 3-minute to 12-minute, 14-minute zone where we fail to materialize a huge lead such that we can end the game, you know, in 30 minutes because we are so far ahead of everyone else. Instead, this game goes to 54 minutes and we have to rely on our Fiddlesticks team fighting. I'm just watching this because it's kind of funny. You know, in order to actually win the game. Lucian goes in, he flashes, he doesn't need to. And, oh, hello, Zac. Zac shows up and kills Lucian immediately. So, as soon as you're the fiddle, obviously this is about, I don't know, I don't say 20 seconds, but at least 10 to 15 seconds slower than what I would expect most people to get at this stage. We are going for the crab. As soon as you see Zac here with double buffs, you click, you F key, you look, and what else do? You press tab. We need to activate this tracking in order to materialize the advantage we're talking about. So Zac shows up here with 16 CS. I would assume at this point that the dude did a 3 camper and did maybe the scuttle crab. However, watch this. He leaves the mid lane and goes up. Why would a Zac do that unless there was an RNG scuttle for us to secure? Immediately, we need to recognize that that double buff 16 CS Zac has done a 4 camp clear. 99.99%, that means there's 2 camps available somewhere, and I would predict it be on the bottom side here, so we could investigate with this Scry's Bloom and see the Krugs, and we can investigate by leaving an effigy on his Raptors. This would allow us to either straight up counter jungle the whole quadrant and know that we have time to get back to this and that a silver jungler is not going to be counter jungling that in kind. We could also then use that counter jungling for a beautiful angle of approach on the bottom lane that may or may not be gankable. Now, if it's pushed up and you've got good CC, yankable. If it's like this, I'm not sure I want to dive with silver laners or even platinum laners or even diamond laners, but things to think about. But right here is missed counter jungling opportunity 1 through absolutely basic tracking. And yes, it is random that a Zac would do a 4 camper gank mid lane, go up to the top crab. We press tab, we see 20 CS, so we know he did that top crab as well. More than likely, these camps were available for us to snack. Now he's going to push us out. We've gone back to base and we are sprinting to the top lane. This already is 1 failure of an advantage we could have gained, because +4 for me, +4 for me, -8 for him, and I don't think he's going to think that you would have the goal to do that, which means your second Krug camp will be up. And look at this, we're sitting and waiting on a Krug camp when this wave is crashing with cannon power. So when you have here that's already 1 dead, you know, 7 minions, including a cannon, with a top laner who doesn't have teleport available, I'm holding this and I'm absorbing this. And that is the second thing. Right? You have to ensure that as a farming jungle, actually, you know, it doesn't even matter what the hell jungler you are. If you didn't counter jungle this, and he managed to get off 2 ganks for 2 kills, you have to say, look, that's okay, guys. I'm absorbing experience. I will be fed. I will be able to win team fights at level 9, 10 because everyone else is going to be level 7, 8. That's what you're looking for, right? That is achieved through strategic, excellent tracking counter jungling, through holding waves that you can absorb into yourself at the expense of your top laner, but hey, she shouldn't have died. But you don't want to be sitting and waiting for a Krug camp to spawn that is a waste of time. And if you're sitting and waiting for your camps 5-10 seconds, what are you doing with your time? Or your life for that matter. I mean, you know, if you're waiting 10 seconds all the time for different camps, waste of time. You could always be filling the time with something significantly more girthy, you know, in Fiddlesticks's case, sucky face. Now, once you see this, gank 16, gank 20, gank push, the last thing you want to do is press tab as soon as he leaves vision, right? And if you see 23 CS from that vision, okay, I know dude did a 4 cam, took crab, went topside, 99.9%, then the dude's gonna go to the bottom side, so please ping your bottom lane. Say, listen, my lovely, beautiful friends in the bottom lane, there's a jungler coming, it's a Zac, it could be tremendously painful for you. I am a farming jungler, I want to exist and get a lead. I cannot do so if you are dying to him. So we know the last time we saw Zac, we saw 23 CS. We're doing this. I would like to see a bit more proactive play in terms of the counter jungling and holding waves. Zac shows up into the cage event horizon. That's a dead zona. We see him here, 27 CS. That means what, ladies and gentlemen? He took one of these camps. Now, I'll be honest with you. I would assume at this stage that he did the Krugs because it makes sense to do that, and then kind of float into here to hit this plant to see the fiddle, what he's doing, and then to look mid lane or fall back to Raptors, and then go to the top side. You follow? That's what I would do. That's what most of us would do, and that's what high elo junglers do. However, because, you know, they elo, and honestly this happens in Platinum and everything as well, so don't worry about that. He went for the Raptors. Now he's going to fall back to the Krugs, but we don't know this. This is not what we know. What we know is that he took one camp on the bottom side. I anticipated it's Krugs, but I have no idea. So I would like to see a bit more of a heads up play from the fiddle here saying, listen, I recognize that. Can I probe the scenario? Now, if you're against a Vi, a Shyvana, even a Mundo, things like that, they could very easily take one camp, gank this, and think, haha, I have Prio, and they'll just start soloing the dragon because they know they can get away with it. Hit the plant, see if there's vision around this area, see if they're doing it, and then decide, can I gank this first or should I go back to base? Because we didn't do any of the fundamentals I've been speaking about in this video in the intro, we are behind. Already we're behind, but not behind the enemy, not behind any sort of random metric. We're behind where we should be. The Zac once more now shows up with 31. So I know that the guy ganked bottom lane with one camp taken from this side, went back to the bottom lane, took the other one, and then ganked mid lane. Additionally, just to rewind a little bit, you see the Zac gank here. This is just an overcommit flash. We're never going to help this. As soon as you move, right, we're using the outside in rule here. We are looking to take this scuttle because this is an RNG scuttle. It is valuable to me, to us, to all junglers everywhere. You're going to see the Zac go for this gank. You see this all in here. We should already be priming for this via our pathing, but we're not. Like, at this point, he's dead. Don't even bother showing, okay? Don't even bother showing at this stage. The last thing you want to do is flash in here for no particular reason. Once the guy goes in here, take this crab, moving up, and snack this grump. Drag it up and take it away. Why? Because the Zac's going to push with the Aurelia most likely and then go up to his wolves. Why? Because we saw him. One camp back, another camp back mid lane. Maybe he tries for the scuttle and goes, it's gone already. Maybe I can gank this. But if he does that, you still have time to do this grump and then counter gank this, to be present for this, and you'd be level 6. Not every time it's going to work out exactly that way. You have to flex your decision making. But the goal is doom scenario, cut, rotate, snack, snack, plus 8 for me, plus 8 for me. That's minus 16 for the Zac possibly, as well as holding waves. And obviously, should he go to the top lane here, you can of course get involved, right? You have your ult, 2v2 assess, do I need to do it, do I not, can I do it, can I not? That's the next step, obviously, knowing your champion and your matchups. But the whole point of having a golden experience lead is first and foremost, I'm denying the enemy jungler, I'm gating myself, and I'm still affecting lanes. And even so, right, they still push here a little bit. You still could have rotated for this, not used your flash and go, and then still taken this. And then because you would have taken this looking mid lane, you see the Mordekaiser kills the Lowy again. We can just go hold top lane again. Even more experience for us to simply absorb and hold and deny a plate as well. And then you can fall back to the Krugs instead of waiting for the Krugs to spawn again. You need to have that opportunistic counter jungling through advanced tracking. You need to know how to keep tracking CS continuously so you can keep snacking away experience and holding waves when you know where the enemy jungler is. And this is crucial if you don't want to fight them specifically, but you should still be able to get a 2-level lead. Now we're going to do this, of course. Saki, 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 Saki. We finally hit level 6. Now we don't have our flash. I do recommend the Hex Flash on Fiddlesticks as though for advanced pathing. But obviously what you have to track while you're doing that here, F keys while you're farming. Look, no mana, walking away. Low HP, low mana, walking away a little bit. Is this something we can gank now? No. But if we were playing properly, we could have used our ultimate either top lane, either mid lane, or bottom lane a little bit sooner. Because we're a bit experience starved, we should see that Lux is most likely going back to base, Veigar's going back to base. we now can just do the wolves, making sure your sequencing is on par with what the map is dictating. When it's time to rotate, get a gank off, use your level 6 spike, we do so. And now we're gonna go mid lane here, and this is a downside of Fiddle. We don't have the scanner, so you must have control wards in your pocket. Obviously we've got 838 here in the bank. We're looking to use our ultimate, but we're wasting so much time on non-gankable scenarios. If we just straight up went into these, hit this point to see what's up, and then moved with good pathing, we could have stuck to the wall here using the Vision Tricks video, come behind the Aurelia, and now we can alto, because she's always going to go in on the Lucian. Obviously she, you know, does, and we go in anyway, so we're going to get the play off. It's not the best play to get off, you know, when we could have done 2 camps and then done it anyway, but that's the other example, right? That's the point of this whole video, is that yes, the gank was great, but you could have done the gank off after doing your full sequence, so that's plus 8 CS, and that we don't have to fall back to now. We can instead use the fact that we've killed the Aurelia, move into the jungle, place an effigy, and maybe snack some wards. And guess what? You'd run into the Zac here, and if you saw the clip from the intro, and if you want more details about that, the Olaf was level 5 versus a level 3 Lee Sin. He was level 7 to a level 5 Lee Sin. And he just ran into his jungle and took stuff, killed him and took stuff. And that's the kind of lead you want. When you do that, the enemy jungler remains useless and just can't do anything, a complete impotent jungler, and then you can of course gank lanes and snowball that advantage because he cannot counter gank you, and that's the kind of lead we're looking for here. And when you do that, instead of having a certain spike at 20 minutes, you have that spike at 15 minutes and no one is remotely close, and that's when you get you huge leads. And then we leave base again, our ult is up, we're gonna go in, the Mordekaiser, you know, takes the Lawi to Brazil. We're just hovering around with the ultimate, we're waiting for the sucky suck, and we'll get that going. And here again, what is the biggest thing that we note while this was ongoing? Zac kills a tower. Zac summoned a herald. So where is Zac? Somewhere in this vicinity. What is available to him because you show top lane? So we're missing out on a herald because we can't afford to fight it earlier. We're missing out on the dragon because we didn't take the herald and then swap to the dragon. But if that does happen to us, it's not the end of the game. We now know Zac is bottom lane, Mordekaiser is dead, Aurelia is mid lane, 2 people are bottom lane, 3 people are bottom lane. Shove, take some plates, take his Grump, take his wolves, go gank mid lane again. This is low, maybe we can do something. We have the sucky suck, we can try, okay? We have an RNG scuttle spawning on the top side. We can loop back to the Krugs and the Raptors that will respawn. The red will respawn. So we'll lose a herald, we'll lose an Ocean Dragon, but we'll get 2 whole quadrants and still have the opportunity to sequence and defend this quadrant, okay? So all of our experience, and instead we fall back to the Krugs. So I want you to mathematically add up all the different things we've lost in this game so far that we could be using to just destroy everybody else. Now we're just trailing. The whole time we're trailing, we go back to base after a full sequence, we go gank the Mordekaiser who's abusing, I don't know what he's doing, he's an idiot. You know, we get the free kill, that's great, but you look at the map, it feels like we're stuck in the zone and there was no reason for us to be stuck in the zone, and that causes the gold deficit to exist. Even if it doesn't exist and you have a small gold lead, it's not on you, right? You're coin flipping your laser. Now we're just waiting for Krugs again. And then we sequence again and we just do fiddle things, right? We sit here, the relay dives the Lucian, we get another kill just about. We can now suck this up to heal. There we go, that's nice. Okay, very good. And now we're at 17.5 minutes and you can see the enemy team is just pushing down towers. They've taken 2 here, they're pushing down this one. They're pushing down this one. Yeah, we can ult them, they got it. Yeah, we can ult them and kill them. But look at the power we have. Level 11 versus level 11 Maud versus Lux, who's also doing quite well. Well, actually not really, but she exists. That was so easy. We're 6-0-0. You can feel good about yourself. You're going to come into coaching and Discords and say, I'm 6-0-0. Why do I have a deficit? Why is my game going to 50 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes? Why do I always have to rely on teamfights as fiddle? Well, if you were level 11 instead of at 17, 18 minutes, and you were level 11 a couple minutes earlier, and had that gold lead a couple minutes earlier, all of a sudden, you're the one knocking on all their turrets' doors. You're the one in their jungle sucking everything and trapping and assassinating anyone who face checks. And you never have to get to the teamfighting stage because you are the teamfighting god and you reached your apex way sooner than anybody else. And now if you're struggling to understand the decision-making process here, no, do I go left, right, forward, backwards, and you want to understand how to better make decisions as a jungler, I will leave the jungle decision-making paradox video in the box on the top right.